Good evening and welcome to the IRL PlayStation F2 League, brought to you in partnership with Nilcode Hall, Gridfinder.com and Driver61. My name is Mark, and as always, alongside me in the commentary booth is Ellen. Ellen, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Good to be back once again Wednesday evening here in the IRL F3 League. I think it's been a good season so far, hasn't it, Mark? We've had some great battles, and last week in Abu Dhabi, I think we saw a guy who we wasn't too sure about, was we? And he proved his pace was exceptionally fantastic. And we had to then move him up a league or two, didn't we? But apart from that, we had the usual on the podium, David 46, our championship leader. And I'd say, Mark, going into tonight, he's really started to put a firm grip on this championship, isn't he?
Yeah, he's looking really strong. And if you're looking at the standings, he's on 69 points with podium finishes every race except for the very first one in Bahrain. So he is just doing a phenomenal... I never can pronounce the word right. Phenomenal job. It's really impressive.
Perfect.
Well, thank you. Already 3 wins and 2 times he brought home the third position. 69 points. Tines is chasing him up, but he is standing on 45, so that's quite big of a gap. So yeah, I think Tines and O'Steven in third place with 39 points. They need to step up tonight, because if David can win again, extend that lead, it will be really, really tricky for the other guys. Yeah, to get closer to him. Good evening, Spud. Welcome. And do we think there will be rain tonight? Well, you never know. We've seen some rain in the F2 League yesterday, I believe, at the end. So, yeah, chances are 50-50, I'd say. But yeah, let's see. But
I think, I'll go on, sorry, Mark. I was just going to say, I think one person I think we have to keep an eye on, I think, who's motoring along quite well is JPH 99. He had a solid race last week. He come home in second place. David 46, his tyres had gone, so JPH, a bit of a lonely race, wasn't he? He wasn't really close to the guy in first, and David 46 couldn't really catch him, but it was a solid race overall, and he's there now into fourth in the championship, just slightly behind O'Steven. O'Steven, another guy who we spoke about quite often this season so far, where he's not featured in the first half of the race, and then out of nowhere, bam, he appears and picks up good results. But yeah, I think going into tonight, JPH 99 is possibly one to keep an eye on because he's showing some good form at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree. And talking about O'Steven and the McLaren he is racing in the constructors, McLaren took a hit last week in Abu Dhabi. They only scored 3 points as a team. So they lost the leading position to Ferrari, who is now leading the constructors with 75 points. Only 4 points advantage to McLaren. But it looks to be a 2-horse race for constructors between Ferrari and McLaren. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree. But the way McLaren's going at the minute, they struggled the last 2 races. If you look there, back in Baku as well, they only scored 6 points. So it's been a real slog the last 2 races for McLaren. They'll be wanting to bounce back tonight. Michael Lutke and O'Steven will really want to be getting it back on track because they don't want Ferrari to go ahead. And as you can see there, look, it's bright blue skies for qualifying. And just quickly, I think, just mentioned JPH, he's the one driving the team in third in the Alpine. And they're not too far behind. And if McLaren aren't careful and they don't get back on track quite quickly, they could end up in a bit of a fight for second place with Alpine. So things to look at tonight. There's lots of battles on track. And I'm just keen now, Mark, to see these guys get out on there and start these first flying runs.
Yeah, definitely. I just got the weather report in. It's going to be a dry race as well. So no drops of rain. So yeah, it's going to be a good race, I think. And we can see the first guys coming out on track. Louis is the first one in the Red Bull who's going out on a set of medium tires. So let's see what he can do on those tires and ride aboard with him on his outlap. Yeah, I expect the Red Bulls to bounce back a little bit. They showed good pace at the beginning of the season, but then the last couple of races they just couldn't deliver. So I'm looking forward to see what those guys can do. And also Emke. Well, we talked about him quite a bit as well, and Emke, his quality performance is incredibly good. But his race performance basically is not. He just makes mistakes like every week. And even thinking about the constructors, they only have a 4 points advantage to McLaren. But if Emke could keep it on track, imagine what this advantage would be in constructors. That would be insane.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ferrari this early stage could have one hand on the constructors if Emke can find some form in the race, and I hope tonight he can find that form and he can really push on from strong qualified performances. But I bet you, Mark, he would probably take tonight a bad qualified performance and a good race. If it meant him having a good race, he would probably take that. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes on. Interesting to just look down the field, Mark. Everybody out at the moment, apart from JP8, but the majority of people going for an early starter lap on those medium tyres. It'd be interesting to see. And we were just discussing off air, weren't we? You think it's probably a one-stop round here, but if you've got the pace, maybe a two?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think if you can do the one stop based on your on the tires, that's the way to go. The soft to mediums, I would expect most of the guys to pit in around lap 9 or 10 maybe, and then just take those mediums up to the end. But if there's a safety car, or if you have a really big pace advantage compared to the guys just in front of you, yeah, I think maybe the two-stop can work out, but you really need to have the advantage. I wouldn't touch the hards if I was the drivers tonight. I tried it myself and I didn't like them too much. I would definitely go for a two-stop soft medium medium, or even soft medium soft compared to the one-stop soft to hard. But yeah, I think soft to medium will be the way to go for most of the drivers for tonight. Meanwhile, Louis is doing his first flying lap. He just done sector 2. He's entering sector 3 now. And well, let's see what the first time of the day will be on the mediums. Good evening, Rens, and good evening, Sam, as well. And Rens is asking, hello Sap, you're not racing?
Not tonight, no. I normally race on a Thursday night. It'd be very interesting to do live commentary while racing at the same time. That would be some challenge, but I'm not capable or fast enough to do that. So unfortunately, you've just got to listen to me speak tonight, not race. As you see, Spud with a 1:34.2 on the soft tyre sets the first line. I'm riding on board with Jolly at the minute in that Aston Martin. He's found it really tricky for that first sector. He's coming into the final corner now. What can he do? Can he get near to Spud's time? It's been a bit of a scruffy lap for Jolly. Can he get anywhere near it? He does, but well, he doesn't really. He's ended up 6/10 on the same tyre off to Spud, so work to be done there. I think a lot of work definitely for him needs to be done through that 6-1. He really struggles. We see a first really strong time of the evening, Mark. F1 Richard in that Williams, a 1:33.7. That's putting at the minute quite comfortable with new guy. Well, I can't keep up now. Tynus has just got a 32.8. I just said F1 Richard was pretty quick. Tynus has just completely shown me up there.
Yeah, I think to get a little bit of an expectation in, I think the pole time will be around the 32.2, 32.3, I guess, for the pole. Yeah, we need to wait and see. I might be completely wrong, of course. Also good to mention, in the Williams, replacing Will, we have a new driver tonight, joining us from the Netherlands, Dave de Kale. He is looking strong so far. So far in P4 with a 33.9. He will be looking to improve a bit more, I think. But as a first attempt in his first race, first qualifying session, that's looking really good, in my opinion. And his teammate F1 Richard in P3 as well. So the Williams guys look strong at the first stint of quali.
I have to say, Mark, That is a pretty decent opening lap from Tynus there, isn't it? Because David 46, our current championship leader, has slotted in second with a 33.5, whereas Tynus has done a 32.8. So there's quite a big gap early on, isn't there for the guys behind to try and make up on Tynus. And Tynus really nailing it early on. It'd be interesting to see if he can go quicker later on in the session when he puts on a brand new set of soft tyres. But yeah, the one guy we were just previously talking about, we talk about quali kings of the season so far. Emke has finally turned up on track, coming out now for his outlet on a set of soft tyres. So be interested to see what Emke can do. Can he get near Tynus at the top of the standings?
Yeah, let's see what he can do. He is currently on his out lap, and I will be riding aboard with his flying lap to see how he is doing, and well, to see if he's hitting the apexes he should. Good comment there from Rens. The softs are overheating too much later on in the stint. For 7 to 8 laps they're good, therefore the undercut is massive. Well, in my personal opinion, yeah, that's completely correct. The undercut is really big around here. I used it myself on Monday and it worked out. And if you can stop 1 or 2 laps earlier, you can gain a lot of time and a lot of positions. So yeah, you are right there, Jens. Rens, sorry there. Let's see what Emke can do. He is doing the last corner now, starting his lap. Going to the start-finish straight, DRS wide open. He is all the way to the right, trying to maximize the track. Turn 1, can he get a braking right? He hits the apex perfectly there. In 3rd gear to get a better traction. Into the always tricky S section. Easy to invalidate your lap time here. Drops down to 6th. 5th gear. So far it looks really good to me. It's in sector 2 now. And I didn't see the delta time unfortunately, so I'm not sure where he will be. A little bit of a late apex. Could be intentional to get a better exit for the long straight. And you definitely need the correct wing settings, otherwise on this straight you will be a sitting duck in the race. But Emke is doing really good so far, hitting the apex again, and he will be soon entering sector 3. It's quite a tricky sector, it's highly technical and with the off-camber corners. But he gets it right, the long right-hander. I expect him to stay to the inside. Yeah, that's what he is doing. We need to lift off a little bit there. He lost maybe 1/10, I think there. But his time will be a 32.9. That's a good effort on the first attempt.
It is a good lap, and I'm surprised, Mark, because Tynus has come back out on a set of medium tyres for his next one, which is interesting. I thought he might have tried to go for another set of softs, but he's about to start his next flying run on a set of mediums. And I just want to point out as well, Messi's had a really tough season so far, I have to say, but he's slotted himself in P3. He's done 3 laps on these soft tyres, which is not ideal really with oh no! Oh, he's hit the wall. He's hit the pit entry wall there, and luckily he's not took a wheel off and heavy front wing damage, but he lives to fight another day. But yeah, Messi has slotted himself in P3, so that's a good attempt so far from Messi after it's been a struggling season so far. But Emke's teammate now, David 46, on a brand new set of soft tyres. He'll be wanting to at least get ahead of Messi on this next run. Messi just about a 10th ahead of him. David 46 will want to even probably get alongside his teammate. Can anybody get close to Tynus? But do you not find that a bit surprising, Tynus on those mediums on this run?
Yeah, maybe the only reason I can think of, maybe he just wants to get a feel for the track and the feel for racing, but he wants to save a brand new pair of softs for the race. So he is doing 2 flying laps on softs and just 1 on mediums. But I'm a bit surprised he is doing the mediums in the middle of the soft runs. So it could be a mistake, of course, but yeah, it's a little bit weird. But I looking at the times, I think Emke can definitely get the time of Tinas. I think he lost around 1/10 in the final sector. Meanwhile, F1 Richard up to P4. Good lap, 33.4. That's a good lap from the Williams driver. And he gained a lot in sector 3 because I was watching him and he was almost equal with his own time in sector 1 and 2. But then sector 3, he was really, really good and competitive. Onto his teammate, Dave de Kale, in the other Williams. He is a little bit quicker than he was before, but let's see. He is coming into sector 3 after this corner, and can he improve as well as his teammate in sector 3? For now, he is almost 1.5 quicker than his own time, so that will be around P7, but it all depends on sector. Oh no, and he loses the traction in that always tricky corner in sector 3. It's just the camber of the corner. You need to be so patient on the throttle, otherwise you would just get spun out, and that's unfortunately what happened to Dave.
Just a quick update here, Mark. There's a bit of towing going on this evening between the Red Bull guys. Darrell Whiffen down in 13th place at the moment. Lewis just gave his teammate a lovely tow down that long straight towards the third sector, and Darrell Whiffen now be hoping to at least get up close to where his teammate is, currently in P8. Darrell Whiffen is going quicker on his previous lap, his current lap of 1:34.8. He's going on this quite tricky long right-hander now. He's coming to the final few corners. Can he slot himself at least into that top 10 and give him a fighting chance later on in his race? Coming down to the final corner now. What can Darrell Whiffen do here on his next set of soft tyres? It's a solid lap, that. A 1:33.3 from Darrell Whiffen in the Red Bull. That is decent, and I think that tactic probably did help that little bit of towing. We've not seen that often, and would you try and deploy something similar like this if you were struggling around here for top-end speed?
Well, I actually gave my own teammate Lippingwall in Monday's F1 League a bit of a tow on the long straight, but that just happened. I just happened to be there on track, and if that wasn't the case, yeah, it's so hard to plan it out, especially on this track. It's such a long track, yeah, almost impossible in my opinion. But yeah, if it works, it works, and then it's a good idea. So yeah, there's a lot of support in the chat for the Dutch drivers there. Marlon, welcome. Support for Dave and basically all the other guys as well. But yeah, and Core Tactics, hello mate. Good evening, long time no see. Good to see you here in the F3 stream. The launch new commentator for Dutch Viaplay. Well, I'm not going to say many things about the current commentators, so I think if you watch it yourself, you know enough. But back to the F3 racer, who is currently on a hot lap. JP looks to be just starting his lap in the Mercedes. Let's ride aboard with him and see what he can do. Currently in P11, so he will be looking to improve and get himself, I think, within the top 6. That's where we should be. So let's see what he can do. He's already 3/10 up in sector 1, so that's a good start of the lap. Let's see what he can do in sector 2. Onto the long straight. He needs to get a good exit, and it looks to me like he does exactly that. I saw Messi was leaving the lobby, so hopefully he can get in, because P5 is a really good position, and it would be a shame if he would miss it because of just some issues. JP is going for it, mate. He's 7/10 quicker than his previous best lap time. But I think he needs to find a bit more to challenge the top runners, but he will be near the top 6 if he continues like this. In sector 3, coming up to the last corner. Can he keep it clean on the grey stuff? Good exit again. Wow, what a good lap there. 33.7.
Wow. You might want to flick over to Tinas. Tinas is flying. Tinas was 2/10 up coming into this final sector. Can he jump JP quickly? Yes, he can. Look at that, a 32.5 from Tinas. I watched that whole lap. Tinas was absolutely phenomenal. He was a tenth and a bit up just in the first sector alone. He was absolutely flying. It was a mega lap from Tinas, and quickly puts himself back at the top. That's going to take some beat, I think. I think anybody who could potentially beat him is currently on track right now, and that's Enki. He's also on a flying lap, going down that long straight, that DRS straight now.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. He is known for his good qualifying session. Let's see, Sector 2. Can he improve? The end of Sector 2 is coming up right here. And his delta is saying 4 tenths up.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
There we go. If he continues like this, and don't forget JP and Tinas both improved massively in Sector 3. If MK can do the same, I will place my money on him for the pole position. But let's see, he needs to keep it between the lines, and that's always difficult in this part of the track. Looks like he is doing really well. Ooh, a bit oversteer on the exit, but still a 32 flat. What a lap from MK.
Wow. Wow. The king of qualifying is back tonight, Mark, isn't he? Now, can he transfer this to the race? He looked absolutely planted, didn't he, throughout that whole lap? I thought Tinas had done a mega lap, and he did. But MK, different planet. What can MK's teammate do? I don't believe MK's teammate, current championship leader, is really improving at the moment. He's through the first sector now. He's a tenth and a bit up. So can he at least try and get himself into that top 5? Because at the moment, the championship leader in a spot of bother down in 9th.
Yeah, it's tough to see in quali as well, because on this track especially you can see a lot of differences in quali performance and in race performance. If you choose a higher downforce setup, that will give you, most of the times of course, the better quali lap. Because you can keep the foot planted into sector 1 through the S section and you gain loads of times. But with the high downforce in the race condition, it's almost impossible to do any overtakes. And if you lose DRS to the guy in front of you, you will be the sitting duck. So there could be some setup differences between the both Ferraris. But let's see David 40 in sector 3 in the long right-hander. Can he improve? He kept it between the lines, so that's good. And his time will be a 32.8 in P4. Good sector 3.
You might want to flick over to Michael Lutke. He's in P5, but he's 3.5 tenths up right now, coming into the final sector. That should definitely improve him to at least 3rd. If you can find a few more tenths in his final few corners, he might even sneak onto the front row here. Michael Lutke, we've not really spoken about him, have we, Mark, this evening? And he's right up there in P5. Had a difficult week last week, coming around the final corner now. Can he improve? He should improve, because he is absolutely flying. What does he do? It's P2. Look at that. And Tinas' time that looked strong all evening up until that very moment finds himself down in P3. And I feel sorry for Tinas a little bit, because I think he's had a really solid qualifying and he'll probably feel a bit frustrated finishing 3rd in the end.
Yeah, but still all to play for in the race, and turn 1 is really wide. So from P3, just have a good start. You can easily take the lead as well. But so far, MK in the pole position for the USA Grand Prix. Michael Lutke in P2. The fellow Dutchman, Tinas in P3, JP P4, David 40 takes P5, Louis in P6, Suspert in the Haas P7, O'Steven in P8, Daryl Wiven P9, F1 Richard P10, Cosmessy P11, Dave in his debut race P12, JPH P13, Towley P14, Legendary P15, Bruce Lee Harding 16, and Jolly Jolig in P17 in the Aston Martin. So let's see what the race will bring us. I think everything can happen in this race. It's a tricky track, long straights, plenty of overtaking opportunities, and parts of the track where you can go side by side. So I'm expecting to see loads of action. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. And I also think we could potentially see quite a few time penalties around here. We did a few practices before we came on air, and you can find full tank of fuel. It's quite tricky to make sure you keep it between those lines when you're really chasing the car ahead. So let's hope that time penalties don't affect the outcome of tonight's race. But I can imagine we might see quite a few time penalties around here because it is really easy to just drift wide and pick up a warning here or there. But we've got dry conditions, Mark, but it's not as clear skies as what we had in qualifying. So maybe the track might be a bit cooler, might be a bit easier on those tyres. But going into this now, as we see it's about to start in about 20 odd seconds. What would your approach be? You're sat on pole position right now. What would your approach be to this race, knowing the likes of Michael and Tinas are looking pretty hot as well?
Well, my approach would just be just minimal amount of fuel, full focus on the race start, and try to create a gap in the first 3 laps before the DRS will open. Just create a gap, and as soon as the guys behind you will start to fight, that's when you can put away. So yeah, that would be my plan, I think. But yeah, it's pretty easy to say. You need to do it as well, and that's always difficult. But about the weather,
yeah,
you're right there, Alan. It's a bit cloudy, but yeah, it should be staying dry, if we can believe our weatherman. Let's see.
Just looking outside the top 10 mark, and nobody, like a lot of people have said so far this evening, nobody touching those hard tyres. 11th and 12th, 15th and 17th all favouring the soft tyre, whereas you've got JPH, who I tip to be one of the standout guys this evening, has struggled. He's on the medium tyres with Towel in 14th on a set of mediums, and also Bruce Lee Harding on also a set of medium tyres. So it'll be interesting to see the likes of Cosmesi and Dave in 12th. What they can do on a brand new set of soft tyres. Can they upset the likes of F1 Richard Ed, Darryl Whiffen, and even O. Stephen?
Yeah, maybe they can. It will be interesting to see. And also, Rens is mentioning in the chat Suspert with a good qualifying session. Yeah. It's a good qualifying for Suspert in P7, and well, he's known for having good consistency, and if he can do it tonight, that will mean good points for him, I think. But yeah, you need to keep it on track, you need to stay consistent, stay clean, and that's always tough, especially around this track with the sector 1 on time penalties, as you mentioned. But let's see what the guys can do. They're coming close to the start finish straight, and they will be lining up. Forget about this predicted pit stop strategy on the screen. That won't be happening, I think. But let's see what we can do. We do hope for a really good and clean race with plenty of wheel-to-wheel battles, because that's what we all love, I think. But the guys are lining up, and I hope you all are going to enjoy this. This is the PlayStation F2 League in the Invictus Racing League, brought to you in partnership with Nilkor Hall, gridfinder.com and Driver61. Let's see who will have a good start. The final guys are lining up. Hopefully we can have a proper camera angle for the start. I don't think we can, but we have the lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are going. It looks to be the McLaren of Michael Lutke with a good start. He will be diving up the inside of the Ferrari, but he's really early on the brakes. Maybe a bit too cautious. But so far as I can tell, it's a clean start. And Emke is still in the lead. Oh, there was a bit of a bump from the Aston Martin. I think that was Tinas.
It was, yes, it was Tinas.
So far everyone seems to get through the S section cleanly, and that's always good to see because it's such a tricky part. And Emke, he is just focusing now, I think, on breaking the DRS gap. Get a gap of 1 second and just stay ahead. But let's see if he can manage to do it. So many battles right now.
There's a good battle at the minute between P9 and P10, and O. Stephen gets the move done, but then runs wide at the end of it. Oh jeez. F1 Richard, so close to losing the front wing there. got completely caught out, nearly run into the back of O'Stephen, and that's now potentially giving cost Messi a chance at O'Stephen. So O'Stephen breathed a huge sigh of relief there, because he was nearly making a quick early trip to the pit lane for a new front wing, but thankfully for himself, he lives to fight on another day.
Yeah, definitely. It's he got really close there. After the first lap, MK is still in the lead with a 9/10 gap. So he's getting close to that 1 second. But Tines is starting to close up a little bit to Michael Lutke in P2. So it looks to be some good speed. Ooh, and Cos Messi already with his first 3-second time penalty. That's really early in the race. And you need to do 28 laps. So yeah, that might be an issue later on. But let's see if it will be an issue for him. It's a good battle between Dave and Bruce Lee Harding. Dave is trying to get the overtake done, and they are going to the long straight now.
Well, we've got a three-way battle here for 6th place. David 46, Daryl Whiffen has Spud has lost 2 places in one corner. David 46 up to P6. Daryl Whiffen is now in and lost the fight as well. So Spud coming back now with that drag, and he's trying to move on David 46. Gets pushed slightly out wide. David 46 hands on to P6, but Daryl Whiffen still trying to get that position back. Great battle here for P6. David 46 will not want to. Oh, there's a dive bomb from Daryl Whiffen. Oh, wow. David 46 lucky not to get tagged there and just about gets away with it, but we've got Cos Messi and O'Stephen also fighting down with it. This is a mega battle for P6. You've got about 4 or 5 cars here, all 5 in P6, and David 46 will want none of this, will he? He'll want to try and get away as quickly as possible, because he doesn't want to get into a battle for P6 this early on and lose ground on Louis in P5.
Definitely. And Spud just had a bit of a bad exit after the last corner. So he lost the position to Cos Messi in the AlphaTauri. Spud dropped down to P10, but he just needs to full focus now and get into his rhythm and work his way up again, as he can do, of course. And Emke has done exactly what he needed to do. He's got the 1 second gap. The guys behind him are fighting, and Tines will have the DRS. So let's see, this should be an easy overtake on Michael Lutke in P2. DRS is open, ERS is open. Will he get a move done? He's already side by side. And JP, he is trying to come with him. Can JP nick the position as well? Oh, what a move. That's really good from both of the drivers.
Wow. That was fantastic, Matt, wasn't it? I was riding on board with JP, watching the battle ahead, and you was commentating on, and JP got such a great tow off the pair of them and took huge advantage there. And look at that, Michael Lutke in the space of, 4 corners, has lost 2 places. That just shows you how powerful the DRS can be around here, and why you need to break that 1 second gap.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's Tines. He needs to close up to Emke. The gap is only 1.3 seconds, but he needs to close up to get the DRS, because otherwise he will be the sitting duck on the next straight, and JP will pass him, I think, with only a 3/10 gap. That's yeah, I think that's not possible to defend, but let's see. I could be wrong, of course. It looks to me as Tines has a bit less downforce than JP, so that could be in his favor on the straight, but yeah, the gap is around half a second now. They will be coming up to the DRS straight now. Tines just missing out on the DRS from Emke. The gap is 1.1 seconds, so Tines won't have the DRS. And JP, he will have it. But he is not using his ERS, so maybe he's just fine where he is right now. Maybe it's just the pace, he can do it, and he's just thinking, I will save my ERS now. And I will get a move done later on in the race.
We've just had a good move under DRS from Daryl Whiffen on David 46. David 46 couldn't get within DRS of Louis ahead, and unfortunately David 46 was reeled in quite quickly by Daryl Whiffen, and Daryl Whiffen now up into P6, and David 46 drops down to P7. So Daryl now be hoping to try and latch on to his teammates slightly ahead in P5 and break that gap for David 46. But David 46 is hanging on nicely here, but he's got to be careful because Cosmesi is just Cosmesi all out shape in the final call. That's going to cost him at least, yeah, it has cost him half a second. He was just around the second mark on David 46, and that'll be crucial for David in the Ferrari ahead. But David not giving up on P6 at the moment, just 4/10 behind.
Definitely not. And meanwhile, Tinus closed the gap to MK completely. Only 4/10 is the gap right now, and he is coming up to the DRS straight. So we could see the first position change for the lead of this race in only one corner. So let's see, can Tinus do it? For a minute there, I thought he was going to do it before the straight, but he is waiting, and he will open the DRS. Can JP do the same as he did before? Can he follow through? Tinus already side by side. This is an easy overtake for him. And MK is stuck in a slipstream immediately from Tinus. And yeah, Tinus into the lead. That's a good effort, a good race. He's got some good pace, and he will be looking to drive away now.
There's a good battle for P6 here. David 46 getting revenge on Daryl Whiffen this lap, but Daryl Whiffen is not giving up on it. Sends it down the inside of that off-camber turn, and he's back into P6. David 46 will be finding himself very frustrated, stuck behind this Red Bull. He want to clear it, but Daryl Whiffen.
He's not giving up.
Go on, Mark.
He's still on the inside of Daryl Whiffen.
Yeah.
Which turns to the outside, but he got it done.
Wow.
What a move from David 40. Back into P6. Oh, there was a bit of contact there, which promotes Cosmesi into the position to attack Daryl Whiffen, I think, but I have a terrible view, so I cannot tell what's happening.
What's this done though is look at the gap now. David 46 was only 1.3 seconds behind Louis at one point. Look at the gap now, it's 2.8 seconds, and it's actually dragging. Louis picks up the next time penalty of the evening. This battle is dragging Cosmesi involved as well. Cosmesi now under a second. I know Stevens slowly starting to get involved as well, so this is a bit of a nightmare situation for David 46. We've got a yellow flag somewhere on track. I can't see who that's for. It's quickly gone. It may be
Richard.
F1 Richard. Yeah, it is. I didn't see what happened there, Mark. Did you?
No, I unfortunately did not, but I saw it on the mini map. So yeah, I think he lost out in turn one.
Sorry, we've got a move for P2. JP in the Mercedes on MK, pushes MK slightly wide. JP says thank you very much. And MK comes back. Well, out of nowhere, that Ferrari just sent one back up the inside. Can JP finally get this move done? MK really not giving up on it. Oh, wow. JP just gets the move done, and MK now drops down to P3. So yeah, that was a great battle between them two. We're seeing towards the end of this lap, Mark, quite a few good scraps between these guys in those final few corners. They're really not giving up on it.
No, definitely, and it's a good part of the track to promoting wheel-to-wheel racing, and we've seen that in F1 and in F2. And
sorry to interrupt, Mark. We've got a move for P4. Louis here now for P4 on Michael Lucky up the big steep hill into turn one. Louis takes P4. Michael Lucky could do nothing about it, and Louis now into P4.
Yeah, it's a good move into turn one. It's always a tricky corner to get it right because it goes uphill. You can be really, really late on the brakes, and it's the apex. You never know if you need to hit it, or you just take a wide apex to get a better traction. But it's a tricky corner to get it right. But it worked out this time, and it was a good overtake. And JP is only just in the DRS range of Tinus, just 9/10, but he cannot close down. And MK, he looks to be around the same pace as JP. So I think we will see some battles with those guys the next couple of laps.
The battle behind is still heating up as well. Michael Lucky taking a bit of offence to Louis trying that move on him in turn one, has taken the place back under DRS, so Michael Lucky back up into P4. Louis will be able to hang on to the back of him. What this battle is doing, I mentioned a few laps ago how far David 46 have fell off Louis. he's now got it down to 1.5 seconds because Louis is in a good battle with Michael Luck here. So this is really helping David 46 out. It's down to 1.4 seconds as we see Louis, one of the front runners, into the pits for the first time. And you mentioned off stream, Mark, the undercut is pretty powerful around here.
Yeah, the undercut is pretty powerful, and I think Louis and Daryl Whittle both in the pits. Oh no, Daryl needed to wait. The Red Bull pit crew could not do 2 cars at one time, so Daryl will lose out massively because they just both pitted at the same lap. I think there was a bit of a communication error between the 2 teammates. But, well, looking at Louis mostly now, he will have incredibly good pace, and I think more guys will follow at the end of this lap because they need to, otherwise the undercut will be simply too powerful. And they will be even without the DRS range. So let's see what the guys will do. Are there any close battles at the moment out on track? JP closed in on the DRS straight but couldn't get it done. JPH will go for the overtake on Surspot using the DRS. Is good on the brakes, no lockups. And he got the move done into P7. That's a good race. Smoke is saying 2 stopping clearly. I'm not so sure, mate. I stopped at lap 9 for the 1 stop, and it was easily doable. And as I said before, Tines is going into the pits to cover up the undercut. Because even for Tines, he was in the front, but the undercut is mighty around here. So he is going for another set of softs. He will be going for the 2 stop.
David 46 also in the pits, but just before he come into the pits, Mark, he picked up a 3-second time penalty, slightly run wide, and he's not on my side. Just a bit of lag there. He wasn't moving for a second. David 46 onto the medium tyres, and where will that drop him? It's dropped him behind Louis, which was expected, and David 46 now slots out in 15th place. 2.2 seconds, 2.6 seconds, I should say, behind Louis. So he did lose out some time to Louis. Louis pitting earlier, but we've got JP now leading. We see Towel pick up a 3-second time penalty. Are you expecting the guys at the front now to start pitting after we've seen Tines come in, especially on those soft tyres, which is a little surprising?
Yeah, well, I think we will see them come in, but not because he's on the soft tyres, because I think, and I hope I'm wrong, but that's a bad call. I think the guys on the one-stop strategy will have the upper end on him if there's no safety car or stuff like that. I have a feeling he might have threw away this race win here, but it's a long race yet, so all to play for, of course. But he needs to get this stint. He needs to get a bang on, and he needs to get all those cars in front of him out of the way as soon as possible, because he's in traffic, and this is the part where his tires are on his best. So he needs to free air. He needs to be full throttle, and he cannot do it because he's stuck behind O. Steven in the long right-hander now. And we got the first DNF, Louis.
Yeah, it was at that off-camber corner in the 3rd sector, Mark. I didn't see what happened, unfortunately, but he was in a battle with S&P Legendary David 46, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's out of this race. So I don't know if there was a tangle between cars or what, but unfortunately, Louis, after a strong opening start to this race, is finding himself getting a DNF. We've got yellow sectors in Sector 3, but no safety car, which is a little surprising.
Yeah, and there we go. The Red Bull's out of the track, and the yellow is gone. Dean is up to P4 as it stands on his new softs. I think JP might have stayed out a bit too long as well, because Emke was pretty close behind while he picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not ideal, but he will get the undercut, and his tires will be up to temperature after JP will have pitted. So I think Emke will nick the place of JP after the pit stops. But let's see if that will actually happen. Oh, there's a late move from Davis 40, really late on the brakes, overtaking Jolly Joe there. And already side by side with Taudi, that was a risky move, but it paid off. He got both the moves done, and he will be looking to get Michael Lutke now. Only 9 tenths in front of him, so he will have the DRS on the start finish straight.
Interesting move here, Mark. JPH, who started the race on a set of medium tyres, has pitted now on lap 11, which I find a bit surprising because it's the same lap JP, who was in the lead, has pitted on the set of soft tyres, which is quite surprising. And I would imagine JPH is two-stopping because he put on a set of soft tyres, and there's not a chance in hell I could see 17 laps out of these soft tyres. So, yeah, JPH, I hope he's got the pace because he's going to need it for the remainder of this race now.
Yeah, definitely. That's an early pit stop. Onto the softs, I don't think he can finish. Maybe he can finish, but his tires will be dead at the end. So he won't be quick then. The predicted undercut from Emke didn't work out for him. He's still in P3. And this is exactly what Tines needed. Free air on those soft tires. He needs to create a gap now to JP. It's critical for him to do that, because if he can't pull away now, I dare to say his podium is gone without any safety cars. But yeah, it's a long race, anything can happen. But yeah, it will be tricky from that point on.
Just further back, Bruce Lee Harding, who started also similar to JPH, started the race on the medium tyre, is in P4, and he's getting quickly swallowed up by Michael Lutke, who's pitted on just pitted for a new set of medium tyres. Bruce Lee Harding struggling, all out of shape, gone wide, and he's into the pits. Bruce Lee Harding on another early stop on those medium tyres. So it looks like both the Alpine drivers potentially going to stopper here. So that frees Michael Lutke now to go and try and reel in Emke ahead in P3. He's about 2 seconds behind.
Yeah. Just seen Michael Lutke, he needs to close up to Emke in P3 now. They're on the same strategy, so it will be interesting to see if he can clear this gap. JPH on a fresh set of softs now. It's gonna be a long stint to finish the race on them, but I think it's possible, but it's gonna be tricky. But he's got so much more pace than F1 Richard in front of him, and I think he will get the move done on the next straight. He will get the DRS, so it should be an easy one for him in the Alpine. There we go. He's already side by side, DRS wide open, and he just flies past. Nothing F1 Richard in the Williams could do about that. Will we see also an overtake from Cosmesi? He's following Darrell with him pretty close. He got newer tires, but I feel he is losing out a little bit too much at this part of the track. So far, I think it's a brilliant race. The first 13 laps were bang on. So I think we can see the move now from Cosmesi. Only 4 tenths. He's closed in the last couple of corners. He will have the DRS on Darrell with him on the start-finish straight. Is that enough to get it done? He's thinking about it, but he decides to wait a little bit longer. But I think that's a move we will see in a couple of seconds anyway.
Interesting battle further down. Bruce Lee Harding, same as we see Darrell Whiffen. There's another penalty in 3 seconds for Darrell Whiffen in the Red Bull. Bruce Lee Harding, same as his teammate, coming for a brand new set of soft tyres, is all over the back of the McLaren Stephen, who came in for a set of new medium tyres. So O. Stevens here to go to the end of the race now, whereas Bruce Lee Harding needs to probably clear this McLaren quite quickly and make these soft tyres do the thing they need to do. So O. Stevens is going to be under a massive amount of pressure to hold Bruce Lee Harding behind him, but I just can't see it, to be honest. Softs versus mediums. Here comes Bruce Lee Harding. As you see, Cosmesi has took 7th place as Bruce Lee Harding then takes 11th place pretty comfortably. Nothing no Stephen could do. Decided up into P11.
Yeah, but Daryl Whiffen is fighting back around the outside in the off-camber corner, and he's drifting wide, which promotes JPH into this fight, and he's really close into the long right-hander. Daryl just got a bit wide, and JPH got the move done.
Nice.
Brilliant move there, and brilliant driving from all three of them. Looking good, but Messi, looking at the time penalties, he will have a hard time because he already has 11 seconds of penalties collected. And we see JPH going for a move on Messi in turn 1, and he got the move done on the fresh shaft. So I think he just was thinking to himself, I need to get it done right now because I need to create a gap. This is my strategy. I need to pit again for another set of softs, I think, because I believe JPH started on the mediums, if I'm correct.
Yes, he did, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he will do the medium soft strategy.
We might have a move for third place here. Michael Lutke within DRS. DRS wide open now down that really long straight. I think Michael Lutke is just too far behind, but it's definitely going to reel Emke in. And Emke, I think, is struggling this stint. He's losing time to JP ahead. He's now 5.6 seconds as Emke drifts slightly wide. So Michael Lutke will be hoping to try and get the move done on Emke in the next few laps. But Emke, overall so far, it's a solid race, I'd say, for him. He's obviously started on the pole position and he's down in third, but what we've seen of him, Mark, so far this season, it's been a struggle, but he's still right up in there. And with Tinas on those soft tyres, having to pit again later on, Emke's still got a good possibility of a podium tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's exactly what he needs to get a good result in, and to give himself the confidence boost, like, see, I can do it, I can put out a good result in race condition. And I think after his good result or his first podium, we will see many more of him to come in the following seasons, looking longer term, but this season as well.
Our race leader, Mark, has picked up a time penalty, and so has JP. So the top three now have all got time penalties, whereas Michael Lutke in fourth place doesn't have a time penalty. As you can see there, Michael Lutke has dropped out of DRS as we see another time penalty. I was hoping this weren't going to happen, and now, unfortunately, we're starting to see a lot of time penalties come through. Michael Lutke has dropped out of DRS. Emke's had a decent lap here to keep Michael Lutke behind in P4. So, yeah, this unfortunately, Mark, looks like it might be going down to who has the least amount of penalties. Right now, it's the McLaren of Michael in fourth, who's looking solid without any time penalties.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully for him, he can stay clean, and at the end of the race, he can benefit from the penalties of the other guys. But we see a lot of time penalties so far. I expected to see a couple of them, but this is a lot of. Almost all drivers have at least 3 seconds, and there we go, JPH with his 3-second penalty, if we're talking about it, and he is getting another warning right now because that was way too wide. But he's got much better pace and better traction than Tauli onto start-finish straight. He's got the DRS. Will he get a move done in turn 1, or will he wait? He's on the outside. Will he try to stick it around the outside? Yeah, he is trying to, and he's got it done. Great move, great racing from both JPH and Tauli.
Messi's binned it at turn 1, Mark. Sorry to interrupt. Messi put the power down way too quickly. There's a safety car. Power down way too quickly, and he's put the car straight into the barrier on the left-hand side. Wheels come off. He was driving really well, but I had a good battle with Darrell Whiffen, and this should help Tinas out, I imagine, because you'd imagine surely Tinas is going to come into the pits now and put on a set of medium tyres here. It will obviously drop him down the order, but it should give him an opportunity to work from the end of this race. But yeah,
definitely.
I just think it was really unfortunate for Messi. I was just thinking he was having a decent race. He was in the points, fighting with that Red Bull, and he just put the power down way too early, and unfortunately the car spun up from underneath him and took him out of that race. Really unfortunate for him after what had been a solid race. But where do you go from here, Mark? Do the medium guys risk and put a set of softs on, maybe, and try and take them to the end? What would you do?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I think everyone will pit, maybe except JP. His tires are 4 laps old. He will take the lead then, but he is going into the pit. So I think everyone will pit now. Because the leaders are pitting, they won't lose any positions. And they will get a fresh tires as well. So I think everyone will pit for a fresh set of softs now. And
let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope David 46 gets this right. Unlike the Red Bulls earlier, the Red Bulls held each other up. Can David 46 get this done right? It looks like it's worked out perfectly. David 46, yeah, bang on there. He did that perfectly, and he's not been held up, so he'll be able to come back out of the pits with no hold up. Sorry to interrupt you, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. They timed it perfectly, but interesting to see. Tines, Emke and Lutke decided to pick the mediums, while JP in P2 has gone softs. Imagine there's a couple of laps behind the safety car. Those softs will hold on to the end of the race, and JP will have good pace, especially at the beginning, at the restart. This will be interesting to see. David 40 also on softs. Yeah, most of the guys are on softs except F1 Richard, Michael Lutke, Emke and Tines. And S&P Legendary, for some reason, is on 5 laps old hard tires. I think he just didn't pit. Don't know why.
I think another person who did pit, I think might regret it, is Spud in P6 on 5 lap old medium tires. He did not pit. He opted to try and go for position rather than a new set of tires, and he's got JPH, Towel, Darrell and F1 Richard on a set of mediums, all behind him on brand new tires. So Spud could quite easily, when this race gets underway, get swallowed up quite quickly and find himself falling out of the points very quickly. Let's hope that's not the case and Spud can pull out some magic, but I think on 5 lap old mediums versus brand new softs, I don't think there's much competition.
No, this is going to be a tough task. Meanwhile, an update on the penalties. Everyone who is having penalties right now is on 3 seconds except Daryl Whiffin. He's collected 6 seconds of penalties, but all the other guys on 3 seconds, so they are almost equaled out. But Michael Lutke in P4 on the fresh mediums, if he can keep close and stay clean, he can gain some positions as well on the checkered flag, but he needs to stay close, and that's gonna be a tough task, of course, with all those guys insanely fast. And JP, yeah, he will need to overtake Tines as soon as possible. As Smoke is saying in the chat, yeah, I completely agree. He needs to overtake Tines as soon as possible, because if he gets stuck for only a couple of laps, the DRS will open, and that will, before you know it, Emke is overtaking him.
Yeah.
And then he's in a lot of trouble, because at the end of the race, the medium runners will have the better pace. So David...
Not only that, Mark, JP has got to build that gap to Michael Lutke, hasn't he? He's got to build a 3-second gap, because right now Michael Lutke, if he, like you pointed out, hangs on, it doesn't matter what JP does in second place, he's going to lose out to Michael Lutke through penalties. So, like you say, it's crucial, isn't it, for him to get past Tines if he wants to win this race, and then build that gap to Michael Lutke behind.
Yeah, definitely. It will be interesting to see what will happen in the final 10 laps of the race. I think the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. And S&P Legendary going for something that we can't see as humans. Saying Reds in the chat. Yeah, it's that's why he's Legendary, mate. He can do Legendary stuff on those hards, I think. So let's see what he can do from P11. But, one thing is for sure, his tires will last. He will get to the end. Yeah, there we go. Safety car in this lap. So the safety car restarts always a stressful moment. You don't want to just hit the car in front of you, but also you don't want to leave too big of a gap, and yeah, it's so tricky to get it right. let's see who will nail it. JP on the softs, he is looking to be the favorite to get it right, because he will have the best traction. Also looking at David 40, of course, on the soft tires. But yeah, let's see. Maybe it's a good time for the predictions, guys. If you're watching right now, leave your predictions in the comments, and let's see if you can get it right. Here we go. Tines is on the throttle.
Oh no! MK's lost it!
Oh,
no!
That's
sorry.
unfortunate for him.
He got on the grass at the start of that safety car ending, and I think he's damaged his front wing as well. He hit the wall. I was just thinking, can this be the race he finally gets it sorted? Unfortunately, he finds himself down in P15. That's an absolute disaster to start this restart.
Yeah, that's really unlucky for him. I think he was just a bit too happy on the throttle in the last corner. Cold tires, and he just loses traction. But yeah, I feel for him. He's got the pace whole season, and he didn't get the result once because of mistakes like this. He needs to get it clean.
Oh, Stephen's lost it. Sorry to interrupt Mark again. I keep interrupting tonight. I really apologise. Stephen has lost it just before the long DRS straight. Stephen facing the wrong way. I don't know if he's picked up front wing damage. Can't quite see. But Stephen finds himself at the back end of the grid now as S&P Legendary has started to lose places, which is unsurprising on those hard tyres.
Yeah, same for Spud. He's losing position to Tauri as well on the older mediums. I'm looking at JP and Tines now. The gap is only 3/10, and they're coming up to the start-finish straight. JP will need to get a move done now. On this straight, launch it into turn 1, so let's see, can he do it? Does he have a good enough exit? He is closing in. He's not using ERS, that's kind of surprising, but still 4/10, so he needs to wait a little bit longer. And Bruce Lee Harding drops down a couple of positions. Did something happen there? Not too sure. Suspect is dropping positions now, already into P8. He was in P5 at the safety car restart, if I'm correctly. And MK, he just retired into the pits. Unlucky race for him. Again, really good consistency, really good qualifying. But the race couldn't get it together.
Here we go, Mark. Is JP going to get the move done? He's reeling in Tines. He's probably not going to send one in there. No, he's not. But look how close it is now. The battle for the lead. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't see what that's for. Maybe for M. Key's car. But yeah, this battle's really heating up. 8 laps to go. Can JP get the move done?
He needs to get it done. And if he cannot get it done this lap, I believe the DRS will open in the next one. Or maybe the one after. So, but he needs to get it done as soon as possible, because his tires are just better now. Yeah, we have this yellow sector 1, but that was for the car of MK. It's gone now, and the DRS is enabled. JP with only a gap of 4/10, he just needs to hang on in the S section, and then it will be an easy move on the straight, I think. Maybe he was just waiting for the DRS to come back online and get it done. Let's see if he can keep it together through the S section. It looks like he can. Gap only 4/10. Yeah, that's looking really good. It's already starting to gain now. Good on the braking. He's hitting the apex, and here we go. This will be the move for the lead, or at least the attack of the lead. Can he get it done? DRS open. In the slipstream. He needs to go around the outside because Tines is defending. But nothing to defend, and he get the move done. JP into the lead of this Grand Prix. Only 8 laps to go. And you need to drive away now.
We've got some updates just further behind as well. David 46 has got the move done on Michael Ludke, which Michael really didn't need to be battling. Michael Ludke, I believe there's been a tangle between Spud and F1 Richard, both of them facing the wrong way before the long DRS straight. I don't know if they're tangled or what. I really don't know. Both cars facing the wrong way, so Spud's down in 14th, F1 Richard in 12th. But yeah, back up to P3 and P4. Michael Ludke wants to try and hang on to JP and try and steal this race victory without his penalty hanging over him. He's going to have to try and do something about David 46 here, because at the moment he's starting to fall away now, and JP building a gap ahead. So JP might be finding that magical. Oh no! Look at that.
Oh no!
Picked up a 3-second, but he was through the S section. I was right on board with David 46. He was through the S section. I just looked back. Michael had just cut the corner ever so slightly, and that's probably game over for Michael in terms of potentially scoring a podium this evening. Him being on the mediums and David 46 on the soft tires, but we've only been under a second behind. He could still fight David for this third place.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that's surprising me a little bit, JP is not running away. Tines is only 4 tenths behind. He needs to stay close because the softs will drop off at the end. And about the time penalty for Michael Ludke, Rens just some seconds before it actually happened said in the chat, Ludke is gonna pick up 3 seconds. He is going over the track many times. It's yeah, you were right, mate. It's unlucky for him. He lost his chance for the race win there. Tine is now on almost a second. Will he get the DRS? Yeah, just about got the DRS. So he needs to stay close to JP to keep himself in the fight for the race win. It's also a good fight between JPH, Daryl Wolfen and Tauri for P5. All really close together. And the Red Bull of Daryl following really close to the S section. And he is lining up to do the overtake on the long straight, but he missed the bit of the apex, I believe. Therefore Tauri got closer to him.
We might be seeing a change of third place again. Michael Ludke has managed to hang on to the back of David 46. It's about 7 tenths of a second. He will have DRS. He's not got much battery, I believe. No, he's not. He's out of battery now, so no battery left for him. He'll be able to reel David 46 in, but no. Closes in, but not able to get the move done. So Michael Ludke doing well to hang on to David 46 on those medium tyres.
Yeah, he will be looking to get a move done, and the tires of Ludke will get better at the end of the stint. And meanwhile, no position changes between JPH, Daryl and Tauri. I expected to see an overtake there. Tauri really close now, only 2 tenths behind Daryl. Daryl's going wide. Can Tauri get himself into P6 now on this straight? That's, oh no, Tauri go wide now. So many things happening at the same time. Yeah, so he just can't get a move done. He needed a good exit and he didn't get one. So interesting to see if he can close up again. Yeah, this race can go either way. What about the time penalties? Everyone's still on 3 seconds. Except Daryl on 9 right now, and Tauri on 6 seconds. All the other guys have 3-second penalties. So the top 5, all 3 seconds. So the finishing position, as it is, should be the podium. But still some laps to go, and it's easy to pick up another 3-second penalty around here.
It's been a good lap, I'd say, from David 46. He's managed to break that 1 second gap between himself and Michael. So it's up to 1.3 seconds now. It's crucial for David 46 to break that gap now and try and keep building the gap so Michael Lucky can't come back at him later on in this race. But look at the gap ahead, Mark. Tinas not able to hold on to JP, and with 4 laps left this race, he's got a healthy 2.4 second gap over Tinas in second place. But like you say, we could still have penalties involved at the end here. It could go any way, even with 3 laps to go now. So Tinas just can't give up here. He just needs to keep that gap around 2.5 seconds, and if JP picks up another time penalty, then Tinas will get that race victory.
Yeah, and while you were saying that, Sunboy in the chat, he says, I think Tinas is going to win this. So he reckons that the medium will have the advantage in the last couple of laps, but he needs to close down right now because he's in lap 25 of 28. He needs to get closer. Yeah, if he cannot get the gap to around 2 seconds at the end of this lap, I can't see it happening, to be honest. No, he's still losing time compared to JP, so if JP can keep it clean, no time penalties, I think he will be looking good for this race win. It's a 3-car battle still for P5, but no one dares to do the overtake. And it's impressive JPH can still hold on without having DRS to Daryl and Saudi. Oh no, as JPH just lost it. Lost 2 positions. I shouldn't have said that, sorry there. But yeah, that's really unfortunate for him. Oh, what happened there? Because JPH is now back into P5.
Yeah, that's quite confusing. I didn't see what happened there either, because I was just looking further ahead when all that happened, and I don't understand how that's happened there. But I was looking further ahead because Michael Lucky almost in that same corner where JPH lost out. Michael Lucky almost lost out as well. He had to get off the throttle big time, and as you can see there, it's gone from 1.3 seconds to 2.3 seconds, pretty much in one corner there. Michael Lucky massively losing out, and that potentially has cost him an opportunity to get a podium place this evening.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a bit unlucky for him. Meanwhile, we haven't talked about him much this race, but Dave, in his first race in the Invictus Racing League, he is in P9. He's in the point scoring position in the Williams. He's driving a quiet but steady race, I think. He is doing good, no mistakes as far as I can see, and he will be scoring the first points if he can keep it on track, of course, in P9. There's quite a big gap in front of him. There's a big gap behind him. He don't have any time penalties. The guys in front of him does. How much time penalties are there? Isn't that enough for him to promote up a bit? So back to the battle for P5. Daryl Whiffen goes a bit wide again. Saudi should be the one to get it done now. DRS open. He is out of ERS. The Mercedes driver is out of ERS and he can't get it done. Must be so frustrating to know you've got the pace, but because the ERS is empty, you can't get it done. Maybe on the next DRS straight, because Daryl is on the edge of losing the DRS to JPH. Interesting last couple of laps this. Tina started to get a little bit more speed as it looks. It was just over 3 seconds a while ago and now he's on 2.9. But it's not enough for the race win, so JP, yeah, brilliant job so far. What kind of surprises me as well is David 40. He can't catch up to Tinas, and as it stands his tires are pretty old, of course, but at the beginning of this stint after the safety car he had the better tire, but he wasn't able to close the gap to Tinas, which is a bit surprising for me, but I'm sure he's giving is all. So and he will continue his podium streak, as it looks right now. That's impressive. Yeah, the only.
So we're on to the. I'm going to say we're on to the final lap, Mark. Who's your? Hang on.
Hang on. This can change
Well,
everything.
Titus, he needs to keep it under.
Oh, no.
Titus! Oh no! No!
What's happening here?
Titus gave JP a sympathy penalty and has let JP massively off the hook there. Davey 46 could potentially steal second place off Titus here.
Yeah.
Keeps it clean, keeps it under that 3 seconds, and Davey 46 could steal second place, but right now it's 3.1, so he needs to find a couple seconds. JP's very lucky there, isn't he, Mark? Because Titus potentially had the opportunity to steal this race victory. In the space of 2 corners, picked up another penalty himself.
Yeah, he was going to throw it all away there. But, yeah, as it stands, the gap was big enough anyway, because the gap is 3.4 seconds now. And the gap to Titus to David is 3.3. So, yeah, Titus, he will need to use everything he got in the last couple of corners. But we will see our race winner, JP. He will be crossing the line. And brilliant race. Aha, there we go. He's celebrating already. Crossing the line P1 and amazing win for JP. Titus crosses the line in P2. David couldn't do it, half a second too short. P3 takes home the final podium position. Michael Lutke, good performance, steady as always, I would say. P4, JPH in P5. Daryl with him takes home P6. Saudi in P7 and Bruce Lee Harding after the time penalties P8. Dave in his first race in IRL P9. And we will see O. Steven and Jolly Yoder over the finish line in P10 and P11. Legendary takes on P12 on his hard tires. I believe he's still on. Yeah, he is. Suspot in P13 and F1 Richard. He will actually get a P13 from Suspot after penalties. And what a race that was, Adam.
Yeah, fascinating. Bruce Lee Harding comes up as the driver of the day, but I'm going to give it personally to JP, tonight's race winner. He drove absolutely superbly, nearly thrown it away there, but in the end, that didn't matter, that extra penalty, and a thoroughly deserved win for him. Now, I believe, I'm just looking through my notes, that is his first podium and win of the season, so massive boost for him and his team this evening. And yeah, you get we'll have to get him a regular seat here in the commentary box. David 46 once again in P3, but another solid race as well for Titus.
Yeah, definitely. For me personally, driver of the day, I think I would give it to JP as well. It's he's got a fastest lap as well, 34.8. Takes on the P1. Yeah, brilliant race, and Titus also really good. JPH started P13, finishes in P5. Also impressive recovery drive. So yeah, I think we've just seen a really impressive race. And the first podium finishes are joining in the chat. So I'm sure you can take it away, Alan.
Yeah, well, we haven't got our race victor in yet, JP911, so we'll hopefully get him in shortly. So we'll start off with second place Titus. It was an eventful evening. You ended up doing a 2-stopper, which we thought the time before the safety car, it may have cost you even a podium, but in the end, second place. Do you feel like second place was good for you this evening, or are you feeling a little frustrated you didn't get the victory?
First, I saw everyone was switching to mediums, and I thought, oh, I made a mistake. But finally, I saw JP was a lot faster than me. I accepted and just tried to keep P2.
Yeah, and you nearly had an opportunity towards the end when JP picked up another time penalty. It was unfortunate for yourself then a couple of corners later to also pick up a time penalty, but in the end it didn't cost you second place either. So overall it was a solid race for you, and congratulations on P2 tonight. You drove really well. So
Thank you.
we'll move on to. I said it just briefly. We're going to get him a regular seat in the comms box. David 46 is here once again with us. Good evening. That looked a tough race for yourself. I'll be honest, I didn't expect to see it in the podium chat this evening, but you've drove well again tonight. You got the move done on Michael Lutke and eventually pulled away from him, so he couldn't come back at you. Are you reasonably happy with P3?
Yeah, I think I was on for fifth pretty much most of the race. Made a mistake with my tyre pressures, so was just completely overheating at kind of lap 3, lap 4. So just totally didn't have the pace. So yeah, bit of a tough race. I was expecting fifth, so I pretty much settled for that until the safety car. I backed off a little bit going into the pits just to see what tyres people were going on, and just went for the soft. So yeah, pleased I got Michael Lutke. Yeah, great stuff. I think more of a lucky podium tonight rather than anything else.
Well, yeah, and sometimes you've got to make your own luck, haven't you? And the way your season's going so far, it's going excellently, especially in the championship and in the constructors. So big result for yourself there. Congratulations on the P3. And unfortunately, we're not going to get our race victor in tonight, which is a real shame. He's just messaged to say his voice has gone, which is real shame, because I would love to have spoken to him about how his race went for him. So I'll just bounce one more question off the pair of you guys, if I may, before I'll let you go, and we move on to Monaco next week. Is it Monaco? Yes, it's Monaco next week. Me personally, I cannot stand the track. Tinas, are you looking forward to Monaco? Is it a track you can get to grips with, or is it one of those tracks that you really wish it wasn't on the calendar?
Well, I will tell my team boss he will bring some extra front wings, but it's gonna be a party.
Yeah, and I'll ask you the same question, David. Is it a case of if you can survive around there, you're going to score good points?
Yeah, I think we've just got to remember that it's the last lap that counts. So yeah, you know, if you put me on my own, I could probably get around okay. So yeah, I think, like I say, it's just a case of let's you know, it's not a normal track. Let's just try and get around, and it's the last lap that's going to count. So
Yeah.
yeah, not looking forward to it.
No, I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to racing in it, but I'm looking forward to commentating on it next week. So be interested to see how that goes. And yeah, big congratulations to these two, Mark. It's a shame we didn't get to hear from our race victory, but overall, it was a really fun race to watch this evening. And these guys really gave it their all, especially early on where we saw that 3-4-way battle for fifth place.
Yeah, definitely. Congrats, guys, for the podium. Amazing races. So yeah, just I'm looking forward to see you guys in the comms box again. Well, maybe next week around Monaco. Always a tricky track, but let's see that next week. This one was, in my opinion, a really good race, and everyone who watched, thank you. And if you like what you've seen, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and there's plenty more of action on the channel as well, starting tomorrow with the Realistic Performance League, also in the United States of America, around the same circuit, Kota. Make sure to tune in. It will be a banger of a race. And well, thanks everyone for watching, and this was the Invictus Racing League PlayStation F3 League, brought to you in partnership with Nilcor Hall, gridfinder.com and Driver61. And I hope to see all of you again for the next races, and especially next week, F3 Monaco. Take care. Bye-bye.